Flying in 2025 was supposed to be easier, smoother, more tech-savvy, but no, TSA just changed the rules again, and travelers, they're freaking out. We're talking about last-minute rule switches, inconsistent tech rollouts, and a level of confusion that makes even seasoned frequent flyers feel like rookies. One minute your protein powder is fine, the next, it's getting swabbed like it's radioactive. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize the rules changed until they're already in line, getting pulled aside while their flight starts boarding without them. This isn't just about inconvenience. This is about missed flights, confiscated items, and frustrated travelers who did everything right based on last month's rules. So if you've got a flight coming up and don't want to play TSA roulette, keep watching. We're about to break down everything that's changed, what's still confusing, and how to actually get through security without losing your mind or your seat on that plane. And yeah, stay tuned to the end because I'll drop one trick that frequent travelers are quietly using to avoid all of this nonsense. Let's go. Let's get one thing straight, the TSA didn't make an announcement. No press release, no Twitter update, no signage at the airport. Instead, they just quietly started enforcing new limits on things most travelers never had to worry about before. Powders, snacks, and even everyday electronics. And it's only happening in some airports, making it nearly impossible to predict. Powders, no room for error. TSA has always had vague guidelines around powders, but now, anything over 12 ounces, that's around 350 grams, is automatically flagged in many checkpoints. Doesn't matter what it is. Whey protein? Flagged. Baby formula? Flagged. Electrolyte powder or collagen? Flagged. Even if it's sealed and clearly labeled. You might get lucky, or you might get stopped, swabbed, and questioned. Snacks now a security risk? Food was the one thing we thought was safe. Bring a sandwich, pack some fruit, carry a protein bar? Easy, right? Well, not anymore. Anything foil-wrapped gets attention. Homemade food in non-transparent containers? Questioned. Even wrapped fast food from airport terminals has triggered manual searches. Why? According to some reports, food is being used more and more to conceal other items, so now your lunch is a potential threat. Pre-check used to let you bypass this nonsense. Not anymore. Multiple passengers have reported being pulled aside despite having pre-check and clear. And TSA isn't giving explanations. Their only response is, it was flagged. Step to the side. And here's where it really gets messy. These new enforcement tactics aren't nationwide, it's actually a patchwork rollout with some agents trained on the new rules and others, well, not so much. So your experience depends entirely on the airport, the terminal, and even the individual officer. You might fly out of San Francisco with a full-size bag of powdered greens and have no issues at all, then get stopped in Charlotte for a half-empty container of protein. TSA is evolving, but they're doing it without public accountability. Why? Well, some folks say it's to maintain operational security. Others think it's to prevent people from working around the rules. Either way, it's pretty clear there's been a shift. It's quiet, it's inconsistent, and honestly, it's costing people time, stress, and sometimes even their personal belongings. So here's the rule now. Assume every bag will be checked. Assume every item could be flagged. And yeah, never assume TSA rules are the same as last time. That's really the only way to avoid becoming the next person repacking their luggage on the airport floor while their flight boards without them. Ironically, a bunch of the rules that people think have changed haven't. Let's clear those up fast. First, the 311 liquid rule, still in effect unless you're flying from one of the few airports with new CT scanners. These allow you to leave liquids and laptops in your bag, but only at airports that use them at every checkpoint. People think this tech is everywhere now, it's not. Second, laptops out of bags, yes, that rule is still real. Unless, again, you're lucky enough to be flying out of a CT scanner-enabled terminal. Otherwise, get ready to unpack your electronics like it's 2016. Third, shoes off. Still a thing. Pre-check lets you keep them on, but if you're not enrolled, don't act surprised when you're barefoot next to a stranger with questionable foot hygiene. TSA has been hyping up their new CT scanners and AI baggage systems like they're about to reinvent airport security. Faster screening, no more unpacking, seamless travel. Sounds amazing, right? In theory, yes. In practice, it's just a new way to frustrate people with even less consistency than before. CT scanners overpromised, under-delivered. Let's start with the CT scanners. They're supposed to let you leave liquids and laptops in your bag, scan everything in 3D, reduce manual checks, and speed up the entire line. Great idea if it worked everywhere. AI scanning looks smart, acts dumb. Now let's talk AI TSA's newest toy. They're using machine learning to detect anomalies in your bag. What's an anomaly? Anything the algorithm doesn't recognize. So what's getting flagged? Phone chargers wrapped tightly, protein bars next to a battery, a candle in a metal tin, sunglasses in a hard shell case, even vitamin bottles packed close together. It's not about what you packed, it's about how it looks to the system. And the kicker? When you get pulled aside and ask why, the agent just shrugs and says, "The system flagged it, nothing I can do." These systems are supposed to make travel smoother, but what's actually happening? More delays, more false positives, more passengers being pulled aside for totally normal stuff. Until the rollout is consistent and TSA staff are fully trained on the tech, it's just adding confusion. People think these systems mean faster lines, but if you're one of the unlucky ones carrying a flaggable shape, your trip just got longer. There's a rumor going around that TSA is phasing out the 311 rule. Spoiler, not true. At least not for most travelers. Here's what's really happening. In terminals that use new CT scanners, you can leave liquids in your bag, and the 3.4-ounce rule gets fuzzy. TSA has started allowing slightly bigger containers if they're in clear bags and if they look standard, whatever that means. But don't push your luck. If you try to carry a full-size shampoo bottle, you're probably getting flagged, and if you do it at a non-CT terminal, you're definitely losing it. Carry-on confusion has also spread to battery packs, lithium items, and vape gear. There's no clear guidance, and rules are shifting month to month. So what do? Treat your carry-on like it's going through the strictest security imaginable. Assume worst-case scenario. If it passes, great. If it doesn't, you were prepared. Here's a hard truth: most people are carrying banned items without even knowing it. They pack the same stuff they always have, same toiletries, same gadgets, same harmless tools, expecting to breeze through security like it's no big deal. Then boom, bag flagged, you're pulled aside, and suddenly your carry-on is getting dismantled on a metal table while you explain why you thought your deodorant was legal. Let's go through a few common everyday items that will absolutely get you flagged in 2025. So, there are a bunch of items that are actually banned, but, still super common at airports. Aerosol deodorants, still not allowed if they're over 3.4 ounces. Doesn't matter if it's for your armpits or your feet. If it's an aerosol and it's big, it's gone. Power banks over 100 watt-hours most people have, like no clue what their battery capacity is. If it's too powerful and not clearly labeled, TSA may just confiscate it on the spot. Some officers won't even let you fly with it unless it's in your hand luggage and labeled properly. Vape pens in checked luggage? Huge no. Lithium batteries plus cargo hold equals fire risk. They have to go in your carry-on. Still, a lot of travelers forget and end up losing them. Torch lighters, these bad boys are on every banned item list for a reason. They look cool, but they're also one of the most confiscated items at US airports. And tools over 7 inches, yes, even a simple wrench or screwdriver. If it's longer than your forearm, don't expect it to get through. But I brought it last time. Yeah, that sentence means nothing to TSA. They honestly don't care what happened last time. They don't care what airport waved you through. They don't even care if another agent at the same checkpoint would have let it slide. TSA's screening system in 2025 is, honestly, more automated and rigid than ever. The newer tech relies heavily on AI and rule-based flagging, which means less human judgment, more computer says no. The fix here is to do a full mental reset. Here's how to avoid getting caught off guard first. Stop assuming you know what's allowed. Seriously, don't go off what worked last time. And for the love of travel, read the official banned item list before you pack. Here's where TSA isn't awful: medical and childcare exemptions. You can bring prescription medication in liquid or gel form, breast milk, baby formula and baby food, and even medically necessary liquids over 3.4 ounces. But, and this is key, you have to declare it. Don't bury your insulin at the bottom of your bag and hope for the best. Put it in a separate pouch, tell the agent immediately, and you'll almost always breeze through. There was a time when having TSA pre-check meant smooth sailing. Fast lane, shoes on laptop in the bag, a few quick nods and you were at your gate with time to spare. Not anymore. In 2025, TSA has quietly shifted its posture even toward its trusted travelers. Pre-check isn't automatic protection anymore. Passengers with pre-check are now getting pulled for random screenings more often than ever before. What does that mean? Well, you still might have to take off your shoes. You still might have to remove your laptop. You might even get the full body scanner instead of the pre-check metal detector. Some travelers have even reported pat-downs despite being enrolled in the program. And it's not like you did anything wrong, it's just random. Clear, still fast, but not frictionless. Clear, once the ultimate airport flex, is still useful, but with some added friction. Here's how it works: you use biometrics to skip the ID check line. Great. But then what? At many airports you still wait in the same physical security line as everyone else, deal with the same scanners, and face the same baggage rules. And worse, some clear travelers are now being flagged for post-verification spot checks, adding even more delay. So yes, you'll skip the front part of the line, but that time saved can easily vanish at the X-ray belt. Global Entry is still one of the best programs out there if you fly internationally. You skip customs lines, use kiosks, and you're out of the airport in just a few minutes. But in 2025, many international airports have introduced facial recognition systems in place of passport stamps. While it can be fast, a lot of travelers find it uncomfortable. Why? Well, there's a lack of clear opt-out instructions, concerns over data privacy, confusion when the system doesn't recognize your face, and language barriers at foreign customs counters that now rely more on tech than people. It's efficient but also cold, glitchy, and in some cases kind of invasive. The bottom line here? Don't expect royalty. Pre-check, clear, global entry. They still help, for sure. You'll still move faster than the average traveler, but honestly, don't expect to breeze through every time. These programs no longer guarantee special treatment at every airport. So, what's the short answer? They're reactive, not proactive. TSA doesn't make policy changes in a vacuum. They respond to trends, new threats, new smuggling methods, and of course, political pressure. But because they roll out updates quietly and inconsistently, it creates chaos. One terminal gets new tech, another doesn't. One city gets stricter enforcement, another is chill. Why? Because TSA is a patchwork operation with zero national consistency in practice. That's why the rules keep changing. They aren't, really. They're just being interpreted differently depending on where and how you fly. It sucks, but now you know. Alright, here's the real checklist to avoid all this BS. First, check your airport security setup. Do they have CT scanners? Clear lanes? Look it up. Next, pack like it's 2015. Remove liquids, organize your electronics, label your meds. Third, use packing cubes. They seriously speed up bag checks if you get flagged. Fourth, put flagged items in outer pocket spouters, snacks, liquids. Make them accessible. Fifth, dress smart slip-on shoes, no belts, no jackets with 12 pockets. Sixth, download your boarding pass early, fewer delays at the check-in line. Seventh, arrive early, not cutting it close early, 2 to 3 hours minimum. And finally, have a plan B missed flight. Know your airline's rebooking policy. It's not sexy, but it works. TSA isn't out to ruin your life, but they're not making it easy either. The rules, constantly shifting. The tech, inconsistent. The experience, frustrating. But if you stay informed, ask questions, and prep like a pro, you'll fly circles around the chaos. And hey, if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who's flying soon. They'll thank you when they breeze through security while the guy next to them is arguing over a bottle of lotion. And don't forget to hit subscribe because I've got more updates coming on airline tricks, travel hacks, and how to survive modern airports without losing your mind or your seat. Safe travels. And remember, it's not about flying smarter, it's about flying prepared.